What's happening there now?
Well, this is quite a busy headquarters right now. The activities are not unusual, but I mean quite a number of black vehicles here, and that possibly tells you about the caliber of individuals that are currently in this building at the moment. We know that there's a meeting that is going on right now in the conference room of the NDC. But we understand that the national chairman, together with some other executives, national executives of the party, are currently locked up in a meeting trying to pour over the pages of reports submitted by the three-member committee that was given one task to look at the Ayawaso East by-election and the allegations of vote buying. Must have come against almost all the candidates in that particular election. So, in this official saying, and his other two members of that committee came out a while ago, about 30 minutes ago, where they have confirmed to us that they have not been able to submit that document to the national executives. However tight-lipped he was, he tells us that they took due diligence, they managed to cross their T's and dot their I's. He also confirmed that they managed to talk to all 5 candidates in this election, including some other individuals and things that they also considered, information that have come from all over the place, social media, and those that are meant to get witnesses for. What's more instructive is that the decision now rests solely, the recommendation has been given to the functional executive committee of the party, who are supposed to make a final determination based on the recommendations of this member committee. They will not tell us what exactly is submitted to the party, but they tell us that they have done their work, and that is the end of what is expected of them. That decision now lies on Ashidin Kikia and the other members of the functional executive committee to decide whether Baba Jamal will represent them in the Ayawaso East by-election, or the elections will be annulled as been suggested by majority members in Parliament. So that's exactly what we are waiting for. The decision what the functional executive committee will settle on at this moment. Some minutes ago, though, we had someone trying to make a frantic call to Baba Jamal, suggesting that they were actually waiting for him at the national headquarters. But subsequently, we already confirmed that he was not invited to come here, and that he was not going to be part of this proceedings. The committee was going to submit their report, and they have done that. They're now waiting for the committee to actually decide what they will do with the Ayawaso East election. Not forgetting that in about 24 hours, give or take, the Electoral Commission will end the nomination, and that will possibly put some pressure on the NDC on what decision they must take. Will they go ahead and annul the elections or not? We can listen to Inisa Husseini's sound if it's ready. My interaction with him on some of the things I've told him that they have managed to get us evidence in their consideration as a three-member committee.
We'll bring that, but Papa, where you are, I'm sure there are some party supporters there who have been talking about, what all this process is about and what they are looking up to hearing from the party. What have they been saying where you are?
Well, Bruce, again, it's not an unusual sight at the national headquarters to see some party faithfuls in the main compound around some of the vehicles of the main entrance. It's a usual spectacle as we have seen here this evening. What we have seen is that some members of the National Executive Committee are climbing up and down the stairs, going in and out of the particular conference room. We've been trying to ask some of them what exactly is happening there, but we are told that they are still deliberating on the report. But they may not be done anytime soon, but that could also end anytime soon as well. So that is the decision we are all waiting for. There's not so much activity here that you say is unusual out of the normal spectacle, but the people here at the national headquarters here, some of which I'm sure are also interested in the decision that the party will take from here at the moment.
Okay, so Papa, I mean, is Johnson Asiedu Nketia himself at this particular meeting?
I have not seen him in my own 2 eyes, but what I can tell you is that we have heard. At least what the security man that is regarding the told us that the chairman is not there. That's what he's been able to tell, that the chairman is in there. I've also cited a deputy general secretary of the party, Christopher Bandi, was also in there. I've also seen Pablo, who has just a few minutes ago just walked out of that particular meeting. He's also a national executive member of the party. So these individuals managed to confirm have been in there. And sometimes trying to understand what the committee, the Idrissa Fusini committee or Special Prosecutor committee, or is recommending to them what decisions they have to take. That is what they have to do, and that's exactly what they are doing in that particular thing. That's the decision we are always taking at the moment. The promises that when they come out, they will talk to the media. But what we don't know exactly is which direction this will go. Will they hold the elections? Will they annul it? Or will they just sanction Baba Jamal and keep him as the parliamentary candidate?
All right, do stay with me. We now have the sound of that particular interaction you had with Inusa Fuseni, a member of the committee, when they presented their reports.
So we have just submitted the report to the party.
Are you able to share with us what is contained?
No, we can't, because it's a committee of FEC, and so we've submitted a report.
But at least there was a suggestion from the majority caucus that you should annul the elections. Are you going to do that?
That's the majority caucus. We are a committee of FEC, and so any report that we have produced is the property of FEC.
Baba Jamal staying or going?
It's FEC. It's contained in our recommendation.
So essentially, now, what did you look at and what did you do?
We looked at many things, so the party will communicate to you what is contained in the report.
When you say many things, what were
many things? The whole.
The last time we spoke, you said you're going to invite at least all 5 candidates. All of them come?
Yes. Everybody.
Including the lady herself?
Yes. Yes.
The party is racing against time to meet the deadline for the EC for close of nomination. Is the NDC presenting a candidate for the by-election?
Well, that's for our remit. Our remit did not include that.
So that's the interaction, Papa, you had with Inusa Fuseni there. Now, I mean, thinking that the party has less than 24 hours to get a candidate, else the door shuts on them. It will be crucial for us to know the decision that they will be taking. But continue being there so that we can be able to, or we can update our listeners and viewers as in what the party's decision will be. Grateful to you. Papani actually is our man on the beat today. Let me bring in Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere. He is a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. But even before we get there, we understand that Baba Jamal, the NDC's parliamentary candidate for Ayawaso East, has left the office of the Special Prosecutor after hours of interrogation related to allegations of vote buying during the party's primaries. He was invited by the OSP to assist with investigations into the alleged vote buying and assault of an OSP officer. Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere is a political science lecturer. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Do we have Doc on the line? Okay. Let's see if we have Doc on the line. Doc, I'm grateful for joining us here. Now, I mean, what's your own expectations of the decision the party will take, looking at the fact that they have less than 24 hours to submit a candidate to the EC to be part of the by-election coming up?
Well, Kojo, thank you very much. Let me say good evening to your listeners, and a little correction. It is a political analyst, not a political scientist. And I'm also the executive director of the African Institute of Strategic Studies.
Thank you for the correction.
The point ought to be made that I can understand the moral high ground that the party has assumed. Obviously, because of the way and manner it was brazenly done, as if there was care for nothing. So I appreciate the position of the party on that. That aside, I think that the party will also put itself in a fix, because we are looking at a subculture that has reared its ugly head in our politics, for that matter, across the two political parties. And so it is going to be a bit of a difficulty if the party will want to make a scapegoat of a particular person. Now, when that standard is set, then it means that going forward, the party itself will have its hands tied behind it, in the sense that then in your internal elections that will be coming, we don't have to see that anybody is giving anybody transportation, because whichever form that it takes, it is a motivation that could be equated to bribery, because you want somebody to sway the person's mind towards you. So I'm of the view that, yes, it is good that they want to go on that tangent politically for the optics, We want to name what's it called, corruption, voter corruption in the map. So that is good. But where they find themselves, I was of the view that they should rather have instructed the EC when the process was going on to stop the elections. But now that the elections have been done, it is not the party that conducted the elections. The EC conducted the elections on behalf of the party. It is the EC that did the declaration. It is not the party that did the declaration. And so the party will find itself in a fix, especially when they want to mount the moral high ground and take a certain decision as, an example for everybody else to follow. But I believe that if I'm hazarding a guess, probably or most likely, if I have a committee that comes out with some suggestions or recommendations, then certainly those recommendations should go or be referred to the disciplinary committee of the party, because they have, the final cut of the whip with respect to exacting some kinds of sanctions against
less than 24 hours to present a candidate to be part of the by-election.
Yeah.
Isn't FEC enough to deal with the matter?
So you see, that's probably the more reason why they were tasked to submit the report today, which they have done. They may want to let it go. They may want to let it go, but then probably apply some sanctions along the line. It is unrealistic to suggest that the person that has been elected, you are going to sidestep him and do what? And nominate somebody to represent in the name of the party. They are going to create confusion in that particular constituency. This is Mima we are talking about. They think alike, and when they oppose you, they will oppose you alike. And so they will have to be very, tactical with respect to the decision that may not delay the process in terms of the filing. The problem is that the thing has happened, but you need to tackle it with some level of tact.
Now, you said they are in a fix, and it's right, because if they say because of time, they will let him go and apply some sanctions along the line, that has an impact on the party's image, not so. If they also say they are going to let him go, it's they need to answer the question, who do we fail then and at what time?
But you see, if I'm supposed to turn the question in a reverse version, all those who have had with internal elections in the country, none can say that he is sinless when it comes to motivation.
This is a no-go area.
But the point too is
Be
that
careful.
the thief is the one. So unless you are not caught, you are not a thief.
Okay, but let me try and bring in the minority, and I'll get back to you. The majority, Roxanne Nelson Dafiamapo, is the majority chief whip, and he joins us on the line here. Roxanne, I'm grateful to you for joining us.
I'm privileged to have joined you.
We know that you have less than 24 hours to field a candidate for this by-election. Your party is also in this crunch meeting to take that decision. From what you do know so far, what do you think, or where do you think your party could lean, looking at the constraints at hand?
I believe that my party will take the most reasonable decision in the circumstances. And so we are all waiting for that decision to be given, and then we'll abide by whatever it says.
Well, you know your party better, and you know the laws as well. In this circumstance, with 24 hours to go, what will be the best,
What's the question? I'm giving the response. You are repeating it. If you give in the constraints, the party will give a very reasonable declaration as by way of outcome of the investigations and the adoption of the committee's report, the recommendations. So we'll wait patiently for what that will be, I'm sure, by close of today.
But I'm sure the party would not have been in this position if your side had not called on the party to annul the election? Isn't this
why? We are an organ of the party. So if there's an issue and we go strongly and send a certain recommendation or a certain petition, it is for the consideration of the party. If they agree with us, fine. If they disagree with us, it's also fine. We abide by the outcome of whatever the party did. We didn't make a demand. We suggested.
But since you called for annulments, it means that your expectation is that because you made that petition based on what you saw. So your expectation is for this election to be annulled.
Yes, but if the party, upon further deliberations, disagrees with our position, that's a democracy, isn't it?
But I mean, we all saw your side commiserating with the widow and assuring her of your support.
No, please.
That wasn't
Let me clarify
okay.
that matter today.
Do clarify, yeah.
When we lost our brother, because of the fact that he was a Muslim, or because he was a Muslim, the funerals were expressly done, and everything. And our members were not available to support in full. We do membership contribution to support the widow. And that was what the members did, and some of the leadership went to submit, because myself and my leader were not available on that day. You would have seen that in that picture or in that visit. So it was not anything we did to support the by-election or the campaign at all. The two activities were totally not connected. But it was sheer coincidence that when we went to submit the contribution of the caucus to support the widow, it appears to have coincided with how close it was with the holding of the by-election or the internal primaries.
I mean, which coincidence you knew of? Because you knew the time the primaries was coming up.
Yes, but it's coincidence. The submission of the contribution of the caucus members to her nearly coincided with the holding of the internal primaries on that day or the day after that.
Wasn't it a deliberate plan for you to throw your support to her?
It was not a contribution towards any campaign at all. At all.
I mean, how would your party or what should your party do in addressing the sentiment of Baba Jamal supporters if they should go the other way?
Well, like I said, we all abide the outcome of the decision of FEC. And FEC is the National Functional Executive Committee. We also have the National Executive Committee, but this is the Functional Executive Committee's decision. Let's wait for the outcome, and then we can deliberate on this matter. But I want to urge them, whatever the outcome, everybody should become and follow the directions of the party. The party is bigger than all of us.
Will you be able to work with Baba Jamal if he is elected, if he goes through the process and he's elected?
Let me say this. Baba is a big brother. We live in Mamobi together. In fact, when Baba was a serving National Party officer, we were schoolboys in Mamobi. He was, I think it's sometime in 1994 or 95, he was in Legon. We were in secondary school, but we were in Mamobi together. But fortuitously, he and I entered law school together at the Faculty of Law. So we've been very close since, and also belong to the same party. We've become lawyers. We've been very active in national politics. So Baba is like a dear brother. It has nothing to do with whether we like Baba or not. I think it's about just a difference in position.
All right. I'm grateful for joining here and wish the party all the best. That's Roxy Nelson, the former Majority Chief Whip, there speaking to us on this development. We are still having our man at the party's national headquarters to understand the decision they will be taking on this particular matter. But let me try if I still have Jonathan Asante Ochre with me. Okay, I do know. But I mean, it's quite interesting. We understand that the party will make do, or the majority say they will make do with any decision that the FEC will take. Let's go on the phone lines again and bring in Jonathan. Jonathan, so you've listened to the majority side. They say that whatever decision the party will come out with, they will support it. We are waiting to see what they say, but whatever decision they do make, they have to think about the impact on the image of the party, not so. How Ghanaians will see them and their seriousness in fighting corruption.
Yeah, Kojo, in that sense, I listened to him keenly, and I was reading between the lines, and I looked at the situation and said, okay, so they let it go. It will appear in the minds of the public that they are virtually fomenting corruption. Now, if they don't let it go, they equally have a lot more problems to deal with. So, in the view of Mr. Dafiamako, looking at the realistic, the time frame that they find themselves, the party is going to take a reasonable decision. If I'm hazarding a guess, then most likely he may have to sail through, and then probably they will make a recommendation to a disciplinary committee to take the matter up.
I'm grateful to you, Jonathan Asante Ochre. There is a political analyst and a lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil, and also Shield Pension Trust. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Up next is Newsnight.
I beg, fix me go betete Ghana. No gari, no oil, no plantain, just beans then eggs.
Hey, brah, that be dangerous combination, no.
Problem no day. I feel handle am.
For Telecel, we the Bob say everybody gets what they like. That be why Made For Me bundles day. Based on your usage, you fit get your own data and call packages. Fala! Made For Me bundles like the way you the want them. That *530#, then buy Made For Me bundles today.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
They said living on Cloud 9 is the ultimate feeling of happiness. Why not find out for yourself? Val Real Estate, Africa's Gate to Real Estate, is proud to introduce Pune Airport West. Here comes our boldest statement yet. Invest in Pune Airport West and live a standard above. A striking 22-story lifestyle residential tower rising in Airport West with thoughtfully designed studio, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartments. Launch prices are now live for a limited time. Join us on the 13th of February 2026 as Val officially unveils this new development. Pune Airport West. Live a standard above. To RSVP, reserve your unit and secure your place today. Call 0800-888-888. Val Real Estate. Africa's Gate to Real Estate.
Are you ready for it?
This Valentine's Day, get ready to laugh till your sides split and fall in love all over again. It's the Tadi Love Fest 2026 with a hilarious play, Run for Your Wife. Saturday, 14th February at the Ultra Modern Palms by Eagle Auditorium, Takrady. Want a full Love Fest experience from the 14th to the 15th? Then call Adansi Travels now on 053 100 8550 or 059 5500 8717 and enjoy 2 magical days of luxury. Watch the hilarious Run for Your Wife. Lounge and party at the luxurious Esipon Beach Resort. Visit and grab stunning images at the Cape Coast Castle. Experience history at the Bisa Abrewa Museum. Romantic dinners, professional photos, and a luxurious transport back to Accra. Supported by Knee Plant Car Rental, Ghana Tourism Authority, Joy FM, Hits FM, Joy Prime TV. The Tadi Love Fest, produced by Image Bureau with April Communications and powered by Adansi Travels. Feel life's beauty.
Couldn't sleep at night. Mosquitoes will be whining in my ears, bugging me all night long. Till I got a remedy. Now I'll be spraying them away with holy insecticide spray. I go spray them away with whole insecticide spray. When I sleep, me dana mada with whole insecticide spray.
Holy mosquito coil, holy multi-purpose insecticide spray. Dana Kron Kron. For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
She has big dreams and the passion to make her startup #1. Tirelessly working day and night, she has perfected her plans and presentations, hoping for a breakthrough. Finally, she receives a call from Republic Bank.
Hello?
And gets the right advice and right links to the right people. Now her business takes flight.
Yes! Yes! Finally!
At Republic Bank, we help put your ideas into action. Whether you're an individual starting out or a business looking to expand, big up. Join the Republic Vest now and elevate your business. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Hello and welcome to Newsnight. Tonight, government to summon all metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives in mining areas following Joy News' expose, a tax for Galamsey, which highlights how the Amancia District Assembly is taxing illegal miners.
Who is the assembly? Is it the chief executive that is issuing this particular statement? How do you give a license to an illegal activity?
And the assembly is trying to justify it. And I'm quite disappointed.
We have details as government also discloses its decision to interdict the Amancia Central DCE and others implicated in that particular expose.
This calls for an emergency meeting. As I go out, I'm going to call the CEO and the minister. The MMDCs are here for a day meeting.
Also, Speaker of Parliament directs Business Committee to schedule 2 controversial bills, anti-gay and dual citizenship bills.
And also in this bulletin, Accra High Court dismisses an application by former Deputy Director of the National Service Authority seeking a referral of a case to the Supreme Court, describing the request as lacking merit. We have details as the ruling clears the way for the trial to proceed after the referral bid was struck out. In business,
banks expect strong pickup in lending as interest rates continue to fall.
In sports,
Kotoko's interim coach is confident the Porcupines will close the gap on the table against Hasselfolk.
Later, we tell you how climate change is forcing farmers to abandon food crops for cashew. The boom is profitable, but very risky.
I told them where we used to farm. They have used a lot of the land for cashew plantation, so you can't get vast land to farm.
We have the details of these and many other stories coming up shortly. You can be a part of the show by sending us a WhatsApp on 055 11 11 997. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
Mine is Gemma. Appiah.
Details shortly. Good evening. Government has served notice of its decision to interdict Amancia Central DC and others implicated in the Tax for Galamsey documentary pending the outcome of its investigations. And this follows a petition by Joy News to the presidency demanding an urgent and decisive action in response to the expose detailing evidence of the institutionalization of illegal mine activities within the Amancia West district. We'll hear from the local government minister Ahmed Ibrahim shortly. But first, my colleague Caleb Ziblim of the Joy News Research Desk is joining me in the studio with details. Caleb, let's understand what the demands were when they presented that petition to the presidency.
Okay, Ken, so the petition dated February 9th, 2026, which was addressed to the President of Ghana, laid out 4 specific requests to the presidency and the minister. The first is an immediate independent investigation into the matters raised in the documentary. The second is an interdiction of the implicated officials pending the outcome of the investigation. And then if you go through the petition, it does not only mention the DC for the area, but it also mentions NADMO officials, the assembly staff, and also some compliance officers. The third point was a public audit of all assembly revenues and accounts connected to mining-related activities in the district. And finally, strengthen oversight mechanisms to prevent the abuse of public authority in the enforcement of anti-galamsey operations nationwide.
And what was the management's expectation? Right, Caleb Ziblim with our research desk. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, the presiding member of Amansia Central Assembly, Isaac Osei-Gyia, has revealed that security operatives in the district are fully aware of the taxes taken from illegal miners.
In all our meetings, we work with security operatives. Anytime the assembly go for meetings, we go with security operatives. We have set up a task force which the security operatives themselves are even part of to fight illegal mining.
Gyasi, not Bambo Fono aware of a tona namojiji freezer that illegal practice nana.
No more aware. Okay. The security operatives themselves are aware of the tax. The second thing is, when we tax illegal mining, we can also make some money out of it for the assembly. The tax is supposed to serve as a deterrent to people engaged in illegal mining. But since it is not working and the people are still doing it, we need to tax it so that we get money from Galamsey to develop the assembly.
Okay, Jinaha Mami, Wadaroma, Ahaye Adum 106.3, Oman Peniti, Original Minister T, Anna, Ojumamum Penufuti, Equaye Quatia former Goodia, Yentu no one quanson. So Bianca said, Yetuasie. But the old kind of pay say, Esa and some Kojo Sika more than Adeshia war Amansia Central, Asante Mantem, Ghana, the bigger picture no. Moma Ginemuno, Sikano and Wako Banfa so chain, and Amontu, my morning Naja, Adum say into Yapum, they won't say Yamasem, Yaduan won't say no consideration, but rather no. Is it
not the case that because you are struggling to fight illegal mining, you have decided to tax the illegality and make money out of it?
That is not the case because but who can we, you know? But who can we, you know? Debbie, say, your casa French remove bra, Wadaroma. And Chimunu say, Aye Dukrana, Sikawum. You've considered the monetary gains. Yes, no problem with that. But they may kind of say, won't mean your name free who say, under the considerations, no, assembly, no, ABM, IGF crowd form. That was one unique opportunity, even though it was an illegality, no. Most would be Jessica, Ediama, Adeshewa, Manchester Central. That was a consideration. Is it not the case?
Right, so that there was the presiding member of Amansia Central Assembly, Isaac Osei-Gyia, speaking to Omanhene Asante of Adom FM there, defending the decision to tax illegal miners there.
But local government minister Ahmed Ibrahim says a nationwide audit will be conducted on all assembly revenues and accounts connected to mining-related activities in the district.
As a government, our ears and eyes are always on the ground. And don't forget, we are also the fourth estate of the world. So we take information from all other sectors. There are some investigations we are embarking upon. But thank God, this one was raised by your good self. And you know, the president doesn't sleep on matters like that. He knows what to do and at what time. So we have been asked to receive the petition on behalf of the government. And all the 4 pointers that were included in it are going to be carried on religiously. The one that we are asking for independent investigation, the one we are asking for immediate audit of all the Galamsey-related revenues in the place, and the one for the interdiction of the officials responsible for those activities, and how to strengthen mechanisms to make sure that we are able to close all the loops. And I think that is why government embarked upon this exercise of 9 months and all those people going into those places. But as I said, it has come to our notice and steps are being taken. And your petition is going to be an added opportunity. So the president will decide what.
We learned today from the assembly that this was actually written in law as a bylaw approved by the assembly that was simply being implemented. That must come to you as a surprise, because the Tassim funds with John Mahama has explicitly put it in.
It is a matter we have to take home as a government. Because if you look at the NDC 2024 manifesto, it was a manifesto of resets. So this was law that was being implemented by the previous administration. And now Ghanaians voted in 2024 that there should be a reset. So if Shamfan was being charged before 2024, in 2023, in 2021, and monies were being collected, now there's a new government who says, I'm resetting. So what reset are we also doing in that place? And that is why I just wanted to receive the petition and to tell you that government will work on it in order not to fall a victim of an investigator preempting or prejudging the matter. But clearly, it is good Joy News or Joy FM will carry upon this research and approaches. We are going to go up before the CEO for Gold Board and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. We're asking for these MMDCs in Galamsey or mining-related area to see how best we can address one of those issues to make sure that we become 10 of the past. So it's good this has come. And one second, this is going to be an added thing. But we cannot win this fight without you. So it's a joint fight we are all going to embark upon. But clearly, there is something that has to be worked on. I'm somebody who doesn't want sharing responsibility. I face responsibilities. This Shamfan tax and all levy and are things that are happening in these Galamsey-related areas before we came to power. Now we are in power. Now you are the municipal or district chief executive. What steps are you taking? If it was being done and you have come, is it good that we should allow it to be there? But I, as a local government minister, didn't know that it was part of the local internally generated fund. But now that you have brought it, it's going to be one of the matters that is going to be addressed.
So that is the local government minister, Ahmed Ibrahim, there. In a related development, the Amancia Central District Assembly has defended its revenue collection practices, denying any wrongdoing in its dealings with illegal miners. The Assembly insists that its charges on earth-moving equipment, including excavators, are legitimate and date back to 2008, but environmental campaigners have strongly criticized attempts by the Assembly to justify its decision to tax illegal miners.
But clearly, I don't want to just jump.
It's laughable, and I'm wondering why it is the Assembly that is issuing a statement. Who is the Assembly? Is it the Chief Executive that is issuing this particular statement? Atawola said, how do you give a license to an illegal activity? Chamfans are banned. Mining in the water bodies are banned. So how does an assemblyman go to an illegal site and goes to, give a license? They are betting with the particular crime that is being committed. So if you look into the Act 995, that is an illegal activity. And by now we should be expecting that the DC, the finance officer, the coordinating director, everybody involved should be arrested.
And the Assembly is trying to justify it. And I'm quite disappointed because we should have dealt swiftly with this matter. He should not be at post so many hours after this documentary has aired. And the fact that we are acting in not a very swift manner shows that we don't appreciate the seriousness of this situation. This is a serious situation. How are we going to have any reset when illegality is being condoned and the persons at the heart of it are still walking free? And let's be clear, he's not the only DCE involved in this kind of activity. They should all be rounded up. They should all be arrested, prosecuted, so that we see that indeed there's a reset going on.
Well, let's bring in Alfred Asiedueje. He's the president of the National Association of Local Authorities of Ghana. Alfred, grateful for your time this evening. There's been justification from the Amansia Central District Assembly that this tax that they take from illegal miners is justified, and it's bounded by a bylaw which dates back as far as 2008. Are you aware of anything like that?
Okay, thank you very much. I chanced upon the response from the Assembly. But from the NALAC point of view, let's get some fundamentals right. Now, under Article 240 of the 1992 Constitution, okay, and the Local Governance Act, that is the Act 936, every district assembly have the authority to levy rates, fees, and charges. Every assembly has the authority to make bylaws for the local governance, to mobilize internal generator for that, the IGF. Okay, so this part gives the assembly the revenue powers. Okay, but there's a limit to this authority. Okay, the Act 936 does not give assemblies power to legalize or regulate illegal activities. Okay, you cannot derive public revenue from illegal acts. Okay. So now the central question that we need to ask, okay, what exactly does the bylaws of the assembly, or what does it conflict with the national law? That's the first question we need to ask. Narrowing down to the issue at stake. Now, mining is governed by the national legislation, not local discretion. Okay? Now, there are mining laws. Or we have the mining, the Mineral and the Mining Act. That is the Act. Is it 706? 703. I stand to be corrected. Okay. We have the Small Scale Mining Act, which requires license from Mineral Commission, Environmental Protection Agency, that's the EPA, and compliance with lands and water protection laws. So the question is that the District Assembly are sick. Okay. Do they ensure that the money that they were collecting have gone through all these processes, or they've gotten a license from the institution that I have named? Okay, that's the first question that we need to ask. And as you know, in Ghana, under the Ghana legal hierarchy, we have the Constitution, we have the Act of Parliament, we have the legislative instrument, and the bylaws. Okay, so the question is that even if a bylaw was passed in 2008 and revenues were collected under the previous administration, okay, now if that bylaws conflicts with Act 703 or environmental laws, it raises legal questions. It becomes legally questionable.
So in essence, the Amansia Central District have flouted the laws. Is that what you're saying?
No. I can't say that for now. Okay? I can't say that for now. The question we need to ask is that the revenue being collected, is it legal or illegal? That's the first question. As I said, Assembly can collect fees, can collect tolls. But the question at stake now is that is the revenue being collected, or the revenue being collected, is it legal or not illegal? So the question I have, were these excavators operating under the valid small-scale mining licenses? That's the first question that every objective Ghanaian needs to ask. If no, collecting fees become problematic. Once again, if no, it may be interpreted as what institutional tolerance for what? Illegality.
What if it is yes? Because there are issuance of receipts, which we have records of it, including undercover journalists who money, and receipts were issued to them. So now that we know that receipts were issued to them, are we to assume that these are legitimate? And what is the way forward, really?
Okay, I don't want to preempt because there's going to be an okay. But let me come down. I will come to the main point. Okay.
Briefly, please.
From the letter to they spoke about administration. Okay. And 8 and blah blah blah. But the question does administrative continuity equate legal validity? That is the first question we need to ask. Okay. And sometimes we think that bad practices repeated over time, okay, must mature into legality. To me, I think it is no. It is no. Okay? It is no. It's absolutely no. So now on the licensing issue, now before the revenue was collected, did the assembly verify the operators held valid small-scale mining licenses from the Mineral Commission? That's the question, because your investigation did not cover that. Okay, your investigation did not cover that. Whether the monies or the levies or the fees that were collected is from people who have gotten the license from the Mineral Commission. Did you do that? That's the next question that maybe I'll ask. On classification, so if the fees charged from the general earth moving equipment used, does it apply specifically to only the mineral operations? That's the next question. Maybe your listening to did not cover that.
Right.
Okay. On the last one, maybe on the environmental compliance, was the EPA involved in validating the activities from the revenue that was collected? Your listening to this did not cover that. I mean, it was the general something. So the question is that has the 2008 bylaws ever been reviewed by the Assembly to ensure consistency with the Act 703 and current environmental regulations? That is the next question. Maybe I will also ask.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
On the enforcement issue, on the last one, the enforcement issue, if an operator refused to pay the fees, would the Assembly stop mining? Would the Assembly stop the mining activities or only pursue the revenue? I think in the previous visit, a certain lady was lamenting that the Assembly is thinking about the money that they will collect.
Okay.
Not so those are the things that we need to find out. But as I said, I don't want to preempt. But in general, most district assembly are under resource and depend heavily on the IGF and maybe the common fund. Okay. However, revenue mobilization to me must never blur the line between regulation and legitimization of illegal activities. I think that would be my take on that as an alert president.
Alfred J, thank you very much. But right now, though, we have a breaking news story coming in. Gemma.
Well, Ken, Baba Jamal has been cleared by the NDC committee, which was instituted to probe the allegations of vote buying at the NDC primary over the weekend. My colleague Michael Ashale is on the line to give us the details. Michael, tell us what's happening now.
Yes, so just a few minutes ago, the party executives just concluded a crucial meeting celebrating on the three-member investigative committee set up to look into the allegations of vote buying and how the Ayawaso East primary went. They have just come out, and the General Secretary of the party, CP Yavikwete, just told us that, well, as it stands now, and given the constraints of time and some other issues, at least also some fear that the party has, they have no choice but to allow Baba Jamal to sail through and represent the NDC in the Ayawaso East by-election. That is to be held on the 3rd of March 2026. What he's told us, the explanation is that, one, they have less than 24 hours because the EC gave until tomorrow when they will close nominations for the by-election. That means that essentially the NDC has less than 24 hours to actually submit or present a candidate for that particular election. So if they go by the recommendation from the majority committee, the majority caucus in Parliament who were calling for the annulment of the elections because of how it went, then that means that they'll have to scramble to be able to hold an election in 24 hours. And CP doesn't think that it would have been possible for the party to do that. Effectively, they have not come to the understanding that Baba Jamal should represent the party. So there are questions also about whether the party was going to sanction all 5 people. Because it revealed to us that the committee was able to establish that all 5 candidates admitted to some level of giving with expectations that some of these delegates will be motivated. Also, that there's some motivation that they are giving to these people to feel that they have no vote in the particular line. When it comes to punishment, it says that they have left that to President John Dramani Mahama to use the code of conduct for government appointees. Effectively, that means that President Mahama is the one who's supposed to punish all those who are appointees of these 5 people as part of the government. But from the party's point of view, not much will happen, except that they also set up a 7-member committee. It's also supposed to effectively expand or come up with some reforms that will help the party to end all forms of quote-unquote vote buying in any future elections, and they will wait for that committee. The committee will first be made up of the 3 members of that investigative committee, Kojo, Kwache, and then 4 additional individuals will be added to that committee to do this new work, expanding the regulations around the elections in NDC, which they hope will cure vote buying so glaringly this way in the future.
Michael, per your interaction with Fifi Kwete, did you get the sense that the party was under some level of compulsion to clear Baba Jamal, looking at the time frame in actually going to the EC and filing to be part of the by-election?
Well, when it comes to that, I don't know what exactly when you say compulsion means, but I get the impression that the party was constrained in some form. One time, they cannot, if they decide to annul this election or disqualify Baba and run the elections again, they are able to tell whether they're able to raise or hold a new election to raise a new candidate in less than 24 hours. And also fill the forms and submit to the Electoral Commission and have a candidate in the by-election. So on that level, you may say that was the party under some level of constraint, and they have to accept Baba Jamal, who actually won or was declared by the Electoral Commissioner as the winner of that primary in Ayawaso East. So they will allow Baba Jamal to go. On the other side, well, they also feel that Baba Jamal, the 5 other candidates, although they agreed, they all confessed to some extent to the investigative committee that they had given something. They will also leave that to President John Mahama. Beyond this, I did not get any other impression that there was external forces trying to influence the decision of the party. This is a functional executive committee.
Unfortunately, we've lost Michael Ashali, but pretty much he told us what is happening currently at the office of or headquarters of the NDC. Baba Jamal has been cleared to contest the Ayawaso East by-election.
All right, let's head to the House of Legislature now, because the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has tonight directed the Business Committee of Parliament to schedule 2 controversial bills, the anti-LGBTQ bill and the dual citizenship bill, for consideration on the floor of the House. The reintroduction of the Promotion of Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values bill, popularly known as the anti-LGBTQ bill, follows former President Akufo-Addo's decision not to assent to it until 2 pending legal issues are resolved.
Let's hear from the minority who, over the past 2 weeks, have been challenging the majority, accusing them of delaying the process and acting in bad faith. Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin spoke on the floor of the House.
As we speak, they have refused, neglected, and deliberately denied the people of Ghana that anti-LGBT law that they themselves spoke about. To make matters worse, our own curriculum, they have found space to introduce this promotion of sexual rights in the curriculum of our children. When they were exposed, this is what they had to say, that it was a mistake and that an anomaly. What an anomaly? When government documents have been printed, circulated, and signed by no less a person than the sector minister, and through the vigilance of the minority, you get exposed, you now say it was an anomaly. We don't accept this. We hold a view that the NDC used the anti-LGBT law only for power. And now that they are facing the reality, they want to find a way of running away from it. We will insist that they act by their own principle.
That's the Minority Leader Alexander Afenyo-Markin there. Let's still stay in the House and bring in our resident correspondent James Aveji. James, the Speaker in his statement addressed this concern. But first, what were his justifications?
Well, Ken, so the reason at the time for not signing this bill, you remember, degenerated into the conversation about whether this particular bill will put some financial burden on the public purse, where if in that case, then it must be a bill supported by government and not a private member's bill. The Speaker said he's ordered some committees to look into that and to clear this bill in all aspects before it comes back to the floor.
Subsequently, I directed that the drafting be redone and the bill transmitted in pursuant of Order 186. Then I directed the Committee on Private Members' Bill and Private Members' Motion to consider again and advise me on whether the bill complies with the relevant constitutional provisions. The committee observed, and I want to read the observation of the committee. The committee observed that, 1, the reintroduced bill maintains its underlying principles and core objectives. 2, the bill does not contravene any constitutional provision, particularly Articles 106 and 108 of the 1992 Constitution. 3, the bill does not contain any provision that seeks to impose taxation or charge on the Consolidated Fund or other public funds of Ghana, or impose payment, issue, or withdrawal from the Consolidated Fund. The committee, by a unanimous decision, advised that the bill be introduced in the House. Honorable members, I have reviewed the report of the committee and formed the opinion that the bill does not impose or alter taxation or a charge on the Consolidated Fund in the manner stipulated in Article 108 of the Constitution.
James, that was the Speaker's justification, but what were his directives?
He has directed that the majority leader and the other members of the business committee in their next meeting should make sure that they schedule this bill for immediate consideration of the House.
The bill has gone through all the processes in accordance with the standing orders of the House. I therefore direct that the bill be scheduled by the business committee to be presented to the House for consideration. I was calling your attention because this has been one of the topics in the public arena, and I've heard some of you contribute to the debate without much information and misled a lot of people. This is the state of the bill, and we'll go through our standing orders. We have to comply with our standing orders, and that's why by the standing orders I have been enjoined to read this opinion to you. Please convey the same message to your constituents.
I still have James Afiji on the line. James, another bill that whipped some public debate years ago will also come back. Tell us more.
That was the Constitutional Amendment Bill, originally 2022, which was 2021, which was introduced by Honorable Kenneth also as a private member's bill aimed at amending the part of the Constitution that prohibits dual citizens from holding certain sensitive positions in Ghana. That bill expired with the 8th Parliament. It has been brought back, and he has got some backing from other 3 members of Parliament to carry this out. The Speaker said it has also gone through all of the processes, and so that should also be scheduled for immediate consideration, where if passed, people with dual citizenship could hold certain key positions or sensitive positions in the country.
The bill complies with the relevant constitutional requirements and unanimously advised that the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana Amendment Bill 2025 be introduced before the House. Honorable members, I have carefully considered the report of the committee and have formed the view that the bill does not impose or alter any taxation, nor does it create a charge on the Consolidated Fund within the meaning of Article 108 of the Constitution. The bill has duly undergone all the requisite stages in accordance with the standing orders of the House. Accordingly, I direct that the Business Committee schedule the bill for the presentation to the House. Please, I so direct. So, Business Committee, in your next meeting, please schedule these two bills, and copies will be given to all members. And I want to call on all members to take time to read the provisions. These are two critical bills for the consideration of this House. We'll take our time to go through them. They will not be rushed through the House. And at the end of the day, please, we'll be addressing the interests of the people we represent.
Abun Bagbin is the Speaker of Parliament. It's now time for business, and George Riafe is here with the latest. George.
Hi, Kenneth. And coming up in business, banks expect strong pickup in lending in coming months as interest rates continue to fall. And Ghana Airport Company defends the airport infrastructure fee, cites upgrade of airports infrastructure as reasons. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials.
Welcome, contestants, to the final round. Winner takes all. For 1,000 points, all you have to do is give me the correct answer to the following riddle. I am one place, but with the right connection, I can be 1,000 other places. Some people call me magic. Some people call me a feeling. In me, you can be anything you want to be. I'm the most common and yet the rarest place in the whole world. What am I?
A church.
Oh, wrong. Contestant 3, what's your answer?
The answer is home.
Correct! Congratulations to our winner, Contestant 3.
There's no place like home. Connect your home to super fast internet with affordable data bundles from MTN Home. Visit broadband.mtn.com.gh or your My MTN app to sign up today. MTN.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first port of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Takweje, Osu near the Osu Cemetery, Tema near Community 4, Takoradi opposite Vijay Mays Plaza, Cape Coast University Bookshop, Spintex Road near Absa Bank, Atomic Centerpoint Mall, Winneba University Campus, KNUST, the University Bookshop, and Santasi in Kumasi. You can also visit our shop online, www.kingdomstoreonline.com. Hurry while stock lasts. For further inquiries, contact us on 050-162-0810 or 0302-764-101. Email info@kingdomgh.com. Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, where quality and affordability is assured. Terms and conditions apply.
At Star Oil, we believe fuel is not just a commodity, it is a lifeline. Every cedi saved at the pump is a cedi that helps a mother send her child to school, a farmer transports food to the market, or a young entrepreneur deliver their first order. Our mission is to make fuel more accessible by offering consistently competitive prices, helping ease the financial burden on Ghanaian households. In a country where transportation costs can consume nearly a third of household income, this is not just business. It's a social responsibility. Star Oil, still quality and affordable fuels for all.
If you want quality, this be where you belong. Hey, tough, hey, strong. Oh, gonna shout and sing the song. When the sun they hot, Syntax no break when the rain they fall. Still no shake. Builders they choose and plumbers they prove. Any project you they start.
Brushing gets more fun with your kids with the new Pepsodent Kids toothpaste. Give your smiles protection that lasts. Grab yours today from a store near you. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, commercial banks have indicated that they expect lending to pick up strongly in the coming months as interest rates continue to fall. Now, this follows a Bank of Ghana data which showed that there is some reduction in credit to businesses as well as complaints from firms operating in the sector. But Chief Executive of the Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewa, says looking at the current environment, things would definitely improve.
For correlation between interest rates and credit expansion. And there are numerous theoretical and empirical evidence that establishes that position. Therefore, as interest rates are dropping, we should expect more lending to credit-worthy customers, households and businesses alike. So I'm very confident that we are going to see a regime of perhaps more demand for credit because it takes the two. The demand side, which is coming from, there is scope for a gradual recovery in credit, especially to productive sectors. We have recorded improved macroeconomic stability, which should reduce premium double credit pricing. So I would say that lending will be sustained, and potentially we are going to record some good growth in lending.
Johnny Wa is the Chief Executive of the Ghana Association of Banks. Now, the Bank of Ghana has indicated that it will not hesitate to sanction any bank over failure to strictly comply with the revised directive on net open positions for the commercial banks. We have details in the following report.
The disclosure by the Bank of Ghana is coming after the regulator disclosed that it has revised the current net open positions for commercial banks. Net open position can be described as the difference between the bank's total foreign currency assets and liabilities, representing its unhedged exposure to currency fluctuations. The regulator in the circular noted that based on this review, banks are now not required to hold position in pounds, euros, and other currencies. Again, the aggregate net open position shall also not exceed 20% of what the bank is holding. Commercial banks are also required to continue to submit the daily bank returns. This should cover each working day and should be submitted no later than 10 a.m. the next day.
And that is the Business Text Report. Now, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama has called for development of a practical framework to support the orderly bank listing on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Dr. Isiama made these remarks during the inaugural meeting of the steering and technical committees of the Commercial Bank Listing Project.
Your task, colleagues, over the coming months is to deliver a framework that is practical, a framework that is credible, and a framework that is grounded in Ghana's realities. One that supports orderly bank listings, strengthens governance, mobilizes long-term capital, and preserves confidence in the financial system. I want to encourage you, colleagues, to approach this assignment, therefore, with rigor, with openness, and with a strong sense of public responsibility.
Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama. The Ghana Airport Company has defended the decision to implement the Airport Infrastructure Development Charge. Managers of the airport have started implementing the fee of up to $100 for international flights and 100 cedis for domestic flights. Managing Director of the Ghana Airport Company, Yvonne Opari, argued that the fee is aimed at development infrastructure at the airport. She spoke at the 5th Aviation Ghana Breakfast meeting in Accra today.
everything that comes beautiful comes with a cost. Can we imagine, as the Director General had referred to, that if there was no Terminal 3, and if we were only going to be comfortable in Terminal 2 and we hadn't taken the pains to actually pay for Terminal 3 to come, how would Ghana's aviation have been? So we are at a time where we necessarily have to expand, and expansion comes with cost. But at the end of it all, if we see what the cost has gone and what it has done, what it has gone to and what it has done, we will be happy for it.
Managing Director of the Ghana Airport Company, Ivonena Efrio-Pari. Now, country leader and chief executive of Salan Alliance Life Insurance, Teria Ben Ahmed, is asking government to sustain the current economic trajectory, citing its potential to drive growth in the insurance industry. Speaking to Joy Business, Mr. Ahmed urged government to also maintain the current stability because of its impact on the operations of businesses.
Inflation down, 13 months sustainable decline to 3.8% in January, which one again, interest rate down, driving, if you like, some rebound activity in the bonds market.
Yeah, fuel prices coming down as well.
I mean, all I will say, or what our expectation will be, will say, if the finance minister or president is hearing me, sustain it for us. I think I am a proud Ghanaian today because of how the economy has transformed. And so sustainability is usually the question that we have to answer anytime, of course, we engage our international partners and tell them that Ghana, this is the real Ghana. And 2025 has proven the capability of the Ghanaian to manage his own affairs and to transform the fortunes of our own country. It's amazing how we have transformed, but the next conversation, or what I will ask for, is sustainability.
Country leader and chief executive of Salan Alliance Life Insurance Ghana, Teria Ben Ahmed. And that's all for business on Newsnight. And back to you, Kenneth and
Benaya.
The same name.
Yeah, majority chief whip.
Yeah, me this.
Arsenal is playing today, right? Or not today?
Yeah. No, I think it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. I hope you lose though, but let's see. So in sports, Asante Kotoko's interim coach Prince also says he's confident his side will turn their season around and mount pressure on league leaders, starting with a victory with rivals Hatsufok this weekend. Now also took charge of the team for the first time after head coach Karim Zito left the club 24 hours ago following Kotoko's poor run of form. Now speaking to the media for the first time since assuming the role, the former striker is already looking forward to the showdown and believes this presents a perfect opportunity to spark revival.
Yeah, I think what I would say, we are ready. We're starting training today to face Hatsufok. One thing I'll bring back to us, on the last game we played, we didn't have our way. Things didn't go well for us. We have to make amendments. And we're ready to work very hard this week so that we can close up the gap to get a win from Hatsufok. When it comes to Hatsufok and Kotoko, I don't count by what has happened before. It's the performance of the day on the pitch and how bad the other team wants it. That's what gives the results. So we are also starting to try and get ourselves ready for the game.
And that's it for the sports segment.
Well, thank you, Benaya. But don't go yet. My former team, Manchester United and West Ham.
How are they their former team? So you left Manchester United and you ran away to Real Madrid.
No, I supported both of them, but I left one of them.
How do you support both clubs?
You know the supporter who says he's only going to cut his hair. If Man U wins 5
games in a row. Yeah.
Do you think today will be the day
against West Ham with the kind of form Manchester United are in? I believe it might happen today.
I'm rooting for them somehow.
You're rooting for them somehow. But anything can happen in football, though.
You know. Thank you very much, Benaya.
Away from sports, the High Court has dismissed an application filed by lawyers for the former Deputy Director of the National Service Authority, Gifty Owari Mensah, seeking a referral to the Supreme Court for constitutional interpretation over provisions in the practice directions on disclosure and case management in criminal proceedings. The application followed a directive by the High Court ordering Gifty Owari-Mensah to file a list of witnesses she intends to call, including their addresses, should she be required to open her defense. My colleague Fatal Bayaga has joined me in studio with more on this case. Fatal, lawyers for Gifty Owari-Mensah mounted a strong argument against this directive. What were their reasons?
Absolutely, Gemma. So, dissatisfied with the order, Gifty Owari-Mensah, through her lawyers led by Gary Nemakomafo, filed a motion asking the High Court to refer the matter to the Supreme Court for constitutional interpretation. She argued that there are inconsistencies between the practice direction on disclosure and case management proceedings 2018 and 1992, or in the 1992 Constitution. So, Gemma, specifically, the defense contended that requiring an accused person to disclose the names and addresses of witnesses at the case management stage violates the presumption of innocence guaranteed under Article 19, 2C of the Constitution.
And what was the response of the prosecution?
Gemma, the prosecution led by the Director of Public Prosecutions, Mrs. Yvonne Atokra Obuabisa, vehemently opposed the application, arguing that there is no ambiguity in the practice directions and that they do not conflict with the provisions of the 1992 Constitution.
And the judge gave his ruling.
Absolutely, Gemma. Delivering her ruling today, the presiding judge, Justice Audrey Kokovite, held that the applicant failed to demonstrate that any real issue of constitutional interpretation had arisen to warrant a referral to the Supreme Court. The court consequently dismissed the application in its entirety. Following this ruling, Gemma, counsel for the accused, Gary Nemakomafo, informed the court that the defense would apply for the full written reasons for the decision and advise their client on the next steps to take. And Gemma, this case is back in the Accra High Court on the 18th of February this year.
Thank you very much, Fatal Bayaga, with the details of the case in court today, having to do with the former deputy director of the National the NSA, Gifty Owari.
And across Ghana's historic bread basket, a quiet crisis is taking root. As climate change brings together droughts and fallen yields, many farmers are abandoning traditional crops and turning to cashew, a tree that survives harsh conditions. What started as a practical response to climate pressure has grown into a rush for profit, with large areas of fertile farmland now converted into cashew plantations. In this episode of Climate Evidence, Joy News' Anas Sabit examines what is happening in the Bono East region, where a crop that promises survival for farmers may also be putting Ghana's food security at risk.
In the heart of Ghana's bread basket, a golden crop is forcing a painful choice. In this particular piece, we investigate the cashew dilemma. The change is driven by a harsh, undeniable reality, punishing droughts and rains that no longer come on time. Faced with failing food crops, farmers are turning to this hardy survivor.
If you have a cashew farm, let's say the cashew season is certain, you become a big man. The cash flow.
The story of these farmers is a dream driving the boom. Cashew now supports about 300,000 farming families. The national ambition is huge, to boost annual exports from nearly $400 million to over $660 million. But this rapid shift is creating a stark new reality on the ground, with food crop farmers the most affected.
In our place, by Tobodom, where we used to farm, they have used a lot of the land for cashew plantation, so you can't get vast land to farm.
Osman Young, the area officer with the Environmental Protection Agency, says the situation makes the land more vulnerable to climate impacts like pests and erosion.
Once we are destroying our biodiversity and converting those lands into cashew plantation, the benefits of carbon sequestration that we get from our biodiversity will reduce.
Regional Director of Agriculture, James Adu, has this to say.
If we plant all our land with 3 crops, what will we eat? So if you don't strategize and plan well, and a time will come, you will have food insecurity.
Deputy Minister for Food and Agriculture John Jumelo says there is the need to enforce a balanced land use policy.
Well, I think there should be a fine balance between cash crops and then, vegetables as well. And I think over the years, cash crops is trying to overtake it. But all these crops are very important to our economy. And so it's very important to have a fine balance.
Anna Sabit, Joy News, Techiman.
This story is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with CDK and Ghana, University of Ghana Center for Climate Change and Sustainability Studies, with funding from Claire R4I Opportunities Fund.
That's it for News 9 tonight. But before we go, here are some of your messages you've been sending to our WhatsApp console. This is from Nana Ekwamua Boatin in Ablekuma Central. He says, I'll be very naive to believe that the NDC committee set up to investigate the conduct of Baba Jamal in the Ayawaso East primaries will recommend for nullification of the results. They will never betray their own. They will always choose their party first. This is certainly another political grandstanding. Well, the story coming in right now is that they have confirmed Baba Jamal to lead the party in the by-election that's coming up. And Philip Abochi from Keta says, thank God the NDC has maintained Baba Jamal as its parliamentary candidate for the Ayawaso East by-election despite allegations of vote buying that emerged during the party's parliamentary primary held Saturday, February 7th. Now from Spain, said it is very clear that both the NDC and MPP politicians haven't got what it takes to fight corruption in a country called Ghana, a very sad country we live in. That's it for News 9. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. My name is Kenneth. Gyasi.
My name is Gemma. Appiah.
Have a good evening.